Hello and welcome to our presentation on non-traditional undergraduate students. We are a group comprised of Carmen Elmera, Kellyanne Fair, Callie Pappas, and Ellen Youssef. Here's an overview for our RFP. The Career Planning and Development Office will collaborate with the Academic Advising Office to create a mandatory course for all non-traditional students entering university. Support non-traditional students in career planning, resume development, interview skills, and provide general information about specific vocations. For example, expected salaries, minimum degree needed, burnout rates, etc. The seminar will consist of 3 individual counseling sessions facilitated by graduate students in the counseling program and 1 workshop hosted by the Career Planning and Development Office available on various dates. Completion of the seminar will earn students. The non-traditional student population description includes that they are older than traditional undergraduates, usually 24 plus years of age. They have family, spouses, and dependents that rely on them financially. They work full-time and attend classes at night or on weekends part-time. They have delayed enrollment, which means that they do not enroll in a higher education institution within the same calendar year as when they graduated high school. They're career changers, and they have limited time physically spent on campus. They're oftentimes commuters. They also have varied incomes here within Caldwell University. They're middle to lower class socioeconomic status. Most at Caldwell University live in-state and commute. Within Essex County, there are urban and suburban populations. And according to our personal communication with Pare, most of the non-traditional undergraduate students are from New Jersey, particularly Essex County. There are struggles of the non-traditional students, which include difficulty finding childcare in order to attend classes, time dedicated to schoolwork. They're less aware of resources available to them on campus due to the limited time spent on campus. There may be difficulty finding work, school, and home balance. Then there's stress of having family who are financially dependent on them. The unmet career needs of the non-traditional student population include addressing specific career-related questions. They may have anxiety regarding career decision-making. They may feel that they lack confidence, especially if they've been out of work for a while or if they've been laid off. They may have low-level skills with solving career problems, and they may also have a lack of awareness of resources on campus, once again due to the limited time that they spend on campus. The justification for our program is that we feel it will benefit the non-traditional student population by providing them with additional support in their career endeavors. Due to this additional support and resources, this program hopes to help with the retention of non-traditional students who are less likely to persist when compared to their traditional peers. Unlike the traditional New Student Seminar, the non-traditional student career seminar does not meet at a required time each week, which makes it flexible for their schedules. Non-traditional student seminar outcomes include addressing specific career-related problems by meeting with a career counselor, eliminating anxiety regarding career decision-making through the non-traditional student psychoeducation seminar, and a one-on-one counseling series of sessions. We hope to improve their ability to solve career-related problems through psychoeducation and a career workshop, and also making students aware of the Career Planning and Development Office with the hope that they will continue to use it as a resource and support well after the course is completed. We have chosen to use career narrative theory as our theory behind our intervention. We understand that non-traditional students have a richer story compared to their traditional peers typically due to their life experiences, and in a lot of cases they may have had greater obstacles to overcome through their career paths. Narrative theory allows the student to share their story and what has brought the student to this point in their career. Oftentimes these students are eager to share their stories with others, according to our personal communication. The role of subjectivity in determining career goals is also an important factor to narrative theory, as well as the application of it to the non-traditional student population. Our project's purpose has a few aspects to it that we'd like to focus on. We'd like to utilize narrative theories in order to help the non-traditional students develop a better understanding of their past career endeavors and how they affect their future decisions regarding vocation. We'd like to review and evaluate career goals for non-traditional students. We'd like to provide information about specific fields of interest for them and help the client gain insight into which careers are suitable for them regarding personality traits, career and life goals, values, and education level. We'd also like to deliver these techniques of narrative theory based on Cochrane and Civicus's narrative theories, as we deem that these are the modalities for this population and are suited through these approaches. To describe the program and intervention a bit further, the non-traditional students will enroll in a non-traditional student career seminar during their first semester of their undergraduate degree at Caldwell University. This is a program that will take place of a traditional freshman seminar that is seen throughout many higher educational institutions. They will enroll in this mandatory non-traditional student career seminar for 1 credit, and it is again stated for all non-traditional student freshmen and transfers to Caldwell University. Throughout the course of their first semester at Caldwell, 3 individual counseling sessions and a workshop are required to attend as part of the non-traditional student career seminar course. There will be no in-person class component to make it convenient for their busy schedules. Evaluation procedures that we'd like to incorporate would be monitoring progress through surveys, which would take place before the first counseling session, which would determine where they stand in their career development and goals, and then again another survey for the non-traditional student at the end of the seminar, which would evaluate how useful our counseling sessions were, as well as the workshop topics that were covered for them. Additional surveys would be used as part of evaluation procedures. A final survey would be completed before graduating Caldwell University. The survey would assess how often they utilize career services, preparedness for graduation, and career plans after graduation. There would also be another survey distributed after the student had graduated as an alumni student, and this survey would be at no additional cost to the department. It is already implemented to all students through our offices at this point, and this can be used as a tool to non-traditional student success with their traditional peers. There are a few ways that we'd like to disseminate our plan. During the new student orientation, which is required to attend by all new students prior to the start of their first semester at Caldwell University, the non-traditional students will be made aware of the required NTS career seminar in person and via email announcements. Detailed information about the course requirements will also be available in the course booklet online and through their academic advisor. Students can also gather detailed course information pamphlets in the Career Development and Planning Office at Caldwell University. Personnel that will be involved in this intervention would be graduate counseling students. The counseling sessions with the non-traditional students are a required component of their career counseling class so as to gain practice in applying career theory. Graduate students, must maintain a GPA of 3.6 to be counseling our non-traditional students within the seminar. The graduate counseling students are not certified but are professionally trained and supervised. Advisors from the Career Planning and Development Department would also act as personnel for the intervention. They would act as supervisors of the graduate student counselors. They would aid in providing additional guidance with which counseling students may be unfamiliar with. Both parties, the advisors and the graduate students, must adhere to the ACA Code of Ethics with a focus on C2, which states counselors practice only within the boundaries of their competence based on their education, training, supervised experience, state and national professional credentials, and appropriate professional experience. Our overall expected budget may cost at maximum $10,000. Our funding will go towards the cost of the self-directed search assessment for each non-traditional student. Graduate counseling students will be used to lead counseling sessions, which has no cost in itself and is a great way to save our budget. Caldwell University will benefit from student retention. Non-traditional students will be less likely to withdraw from courses with assistance and guidance through their career services. Increased adult non-traditional student population would be another benefit of our intervention. The counseling graduate students, as mentioned, are coming at no cost, and they will also gain professional experience, also at no additional cost to the university. Technology integration and resources include the use of emails, phone to contact students in order to schedule attendance for counseling sessions and workshops, which will be conducted by the graduate counseling students. E-newsletters are sent to the non-traditional student during their time at Caldwell University as well as after graduation, notifying students about employment opportunities, economic updates, interview tips, etc. The SDS results will be interpreted with the additional use of a computer alongside the counselor within their first session. The NTS program will inform students of the limits of confidentiality and technology from FD of NCDA's Code of Ethics, as well as the informed consent and security, which is F2 of the NCDA Ethics. The first counseling session has a few different components to it, as shown in the demonstration and recap. There's an introduction to the program. The client may also feel free to ask any questions at that point about the program, should they need clarification. The client also addresses their career narrative, and this shows the application of Cochrane's theory. The non-traditional student must bring the results of the self-directed search to the session. It should be a hard copy. And there, the graduate counseling student will interpret the results with the client. They will also use ONET alongside the student and show them the different occupations. This is the initial engagement we would have with the student, and it's just really there to make them more comfortable with navigating ONET and more or less spark their interest so that they feel more comfortable with using it on their own. The second counseling session is modeled after Cochrane's narrative theory. The counselor leads the discussion of the first session's narrative themes. So there might be mapping of progress regarding the identification of the career problem from the first session. Perhaps a student has given this part of the session, of the original session, some thought, and they have come to a decision, or they may still be struggling with that same career problem from the first session. But it's important to rehash that so that they can let the counselor know where they stand with it. Then the counselor will co-create a future narrative which sets a vision for the future. The student may find themselves in a completely different direction than where they thought they were from the first one, but the counselor needs to be there in order to aid them with that future narrative due to the following of the theory. Constructing reality is also something that we are including here as a homework assignment. So, and especially since this is a seminar that they're taking, it is a requirement where they would have to interview and also shadow professionals working in their desired future occupation. And the counselor would also aid in making that happen for the student. We could have additional contacts sent to the students in that regard, allowing them to access network that way. The third counseling session has a few major aspects that do continue to follow Cochrane's narrative theory. So the counselor should lead the student into a discussion of changing a life structure. And the student should be made aware of what internal and external life changes may be for them as they continue their field of study. An external change would be obtaining an occupation that may require different responsibilities at home, such as finding childcare, while internal changes may include feelings of anxiety that start with a new vocation. Keeping in mind that, depending on the student, this may be someone that was in a career for 10 years and decided to return to school to find a different career path. So after graduating, they would definitely come across feelings of uncertainty or anxiety as they navigate within a new occupation. Enacting a role is another aspect of this third counseling session. We would like to see the students partake in internships or network at local events. And given that these are students that do not or may not have the time they need for an internship, though we may prompt that, we're not expecting that they fulfill that as a requirement of this course, but we would definitely like to see them network at local events, and these career fairs, job fairs would be disclosed to them at this point through emails and other communication through the department. The third counseling session continues to address narrative theory here through the use of crystallizing a decision. The non-traditional student may be more self-aware of their career decisions due to the length of personal and professional experiences, as well as the previous counseling sessions. The counselor would then move the focus towards constructing a career. The non-traditional student understands their role in their narrative at this point. They understand the contributing factors such as culture, socioeconomic status, gender, and family background, and how those have impacted their career paths in the past. The final portion of the non-traditional student career seminar is a 6-hour career building workshop, which includes a variety of tools and techniques that can be used towards allowing the student to feel more confident in their career search. And it's also a chance for the student to network with our services here at Caldwell University. Thank you for your time and consideration. We look forward to the future collaboration of the non-traditional students at Caldwell.
Hi Ellen, how are you today?
I'm doing okay. A little bit unsure of what to expect from all this.
Well, I'll do my best to guide you through any questions you may have. And please feel free to ask me any questions that you would like clarification on. I see that you have brought your self-directed search results. We'll talk about those in a little bit. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that everything we discuss is confidential. The only time that I ever need to breach confidentiality is if you tell me you feel like harming yourself or someone else. But of course, you will be notified when I have to breach confidentiality. Do you have any questions about this?
No, that's understandable.
Okay, great. So let me clarify about what you already may have heard about this non-traditional student career seminar. Our goal is to get you ready for the career you want so that when it comes time to graduation, you have a direct path to follow towards obtaining a job in your field. As you know, you have 2 other counseling sessions that you need to attend. That's 3 in total. And you also have to attend a career building workshop. The counseling sessions and the workshop are all required for the non-traditional student seminar. And then throughout this semester, you'll also receive emails from the Career Planning and Development Office about registration dates for attending the sessions and the workshop.
That all sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. I saw some kind of email with all that information when I went to orientation after I transferred to Caldwell.
Yeah, I believe an email was sent out during the first week of orientation. The Career Planning and Development Office wants to hear your input on this seminar course after you complete it at the end of the semester. There's going to be a brief 5-minute survey that you will conduct. And we want to know what you think about this program and hear your suggestions. If you have any other questions, you can always email me.
I'm a little behind using technology. I guess I'm still not so up to date with the current time of how fast things are changing with it. But I do know how to check my email.
Awesome. And if you need any additional help, you can always contact Technology Support Services.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm sure I'll reach out to them.
Okay, great. So I just want to tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm a graduate student in the Clinical Mental Health Counseling Program at Caldwell. I have a few years experience working in higher education, and I have met all the requirements that Caldwell has thus far. And I'm also excited to see how I can be of service to you. So Ellen, I tend to use a narrative theory approach in my counseling sessions, and part of narrative theory is composing a life history. So if you can, just tell me a little bit more about yourself and your past careers.
Figured I'd have to talk about that. Well, I started working when I was 15 as an aftercare counselor for children in elementary school. I really liked working with kids. I took that job because a friend of mine said they could get me a position there. I later ended up working for the same company as a summer camp counselor, and later became the camp director for 2 consecutive years when I was 19 and 20 years old. So I worked there for about 6 years before I quit and moved up to Maine for a few years. And as you can see, I've moved back here to New Jersey about 4 years ago. A lot of the jobs I've held have been temporary through job placement agencies, which I, for the most part, have not enjoyed. Nothing really comes close to how I feel when I'm able to work with children. I've worked in retail and in large corporations. Most of the jobs have been part-time. I just really can't wait until I can graduate and have a degree that can help me get a job that I actually somewhat enjoy. Most of the jobs I have taken have just been work that I have come across because I needed to make money.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever taken a job for any other reason than that.
Okay. So it sounds like you have quite a bit of experience working with children.
Yeah.
From what you're telling me, it sounds like you have a passion working with children.
I really do. Right now I'm a business major, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like these classes.
Okay.
But I know I should stick to it because from what I gather, I'd be more likely to get a job with a business degree.
Okay. Have you ever thought about changing your major?
I think about it quite often, actually. I don't know if my family would approve of me becoming a teacher or something like that, though.
Okay.
I would be the first person in my family to graduate from college, and I want to be able to graduate and have a job lined up for myself as soon as I'm out of here.
Okay. You sound a little bit unsure of it because of your family's opinion.
Well, I'm thinking that I have my mind made up about it, but then I daydream about being a teacher or something, and then reality hits. Right now I'm making a little over minimum wage at a job that I can't get a promotion with unless I have a college degree.
Okay, I understand.
I don't know, I guess it's worrying me about finding a job in the future too.
Alright, well, that's a reasonable thing to think about. There are a lot of resources that I want to share with you. So here is a list of websites that will help guide you towards navigating different occupations. It's called onet.org.
Oh wow, that's really helpful. I had no idea these existed. I'll definitely look into them.
Great. So I'm getting curious about your SDS results. You had mentioned that you transferred to Caldwell?
Yes, I was attending Essex County Community College and I did not have a decided major.
Okay. Were you leaning towards any majors in particular? Were you in between one or the other?
Well, yes, but I didn't want to choose something at that point because I was afraid I would end up taking classes that wouldn't apply to a degree I might end up changing.
Okay.
But I was thinking about becoming a teacher, so childhood education. But then I was on the fence with that and becoming a business major.
Okay. So it sounds like you've been torn between these two majors for quite a while.
Yeah, 3 years.
Wow. So I wonder what your Holland code came to.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got an S. I think your code is SAE.
Mm-hmm.
So that stands for Social, Artistic, and Enterprising. There are many careers that you can choose from. Before we get started interpreting these results, I just want to let you know that just because your Holland code indicates your SAE, you may also succeed in other occupations as well. So it's not set in stone.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know. I was reading over my results and I think that I would enjoy most of these jobs. When I read over the results, I imagine what it might be like to change my major. When I thought about that, I actually felt a sense of relief come over me. It was a very strange thing. Like, I felt more gravitated towards what I was seeing on the results page than all the time I spent studying as a business major.
Okay, so you're telling me that you felt a sense of relief
Mm-hmm.
seeing these results. It does sound like changing your major may be a serious concern for you. And we can continue to talk about that at any point during these sessions. And as always, you can schedule other sessions with me whenever you're available. And if you have any career-related issues, you can always come to me.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we're meeting and that I took the SDS. It's been helpful.
Okay, well, that's what we're here for. And I'm definitely here to help you through every step of the way. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Sure.
From this point in the counseling session, the counselor would be able to interpret the self-directed search results and even make use of the related occupations within ONET. The use of a computer is crucial during the first session as to familiarize the non-traditional student with how to navigate the useful resource. Many non-traditional students may not feel comfortable using the technology, as the student mentioned, so it's helpful to have a computer there to help show them how to do that. Application of Cochran's narrative theory to the first counseling session demonstration reveals consistent themes for Ellen: family values, interpersonal conflict, and possible socioeconomic status. The counselor should make it a point to resurface those themes during the second session. One of the most important pieces to Ellen's narrative is the conflict she's been experiencing regarding the decision towards a major. So she's been torn between pursuing a degree that involves working with children and has settled for a business major. It's the counselor's job to bring this conflict up within future sessions, should it not be resolved for Ellen. without the counseling sessions available for non-traditional students at Caldwell College, countless situations like Ellen's could continue to happen. So it's important for counselors to address these issues.